And then I go, let's just bring the boy band back and let's see if I can get Greg and Rule to come back. I left at issue number 100. And then ultimately I needed one more slot and I go, hey, there's this guy I remember named Todd that used to draw Spawn. Let's see if I can get Todd to come back. And he said, yeah. So he came back. Todd's also going to do the majority of issue 301. So he's going to be back for a couple. And it just seemed like it'd be a fun book. It'd be a fun book to get there. So Jerome isn't going to be here. But let me just show you his cover. I've got about 5 more minutes. I got to think on. I just finished it up in my hotel room at night. I don't really go back to this machine here. There we go. So here's the cover. I can do it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is Jerome's pencil, my inks on them. And it's just sort of a bit of a tease about what's to come here in the next 50 issues of Spawn, because the world's going to open up bigger. I'm going to create my own Spawn verse, if you will, to get it, because the stakes of what's happening in the book are getting so big that it can't be handled by one person anymore. And the dominoes in issue 300 are going to be started. So, with that, here's what happened. You guys have all been to the same panels I have. You got 5 or 8 people, 6 people up here. To me, it's sort of awkward because you get polite people, you get other people that ask way too many questions, and a lot of people are sitting there. I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm going to call each one of these gentlemen up, and I just want to focus on them for their time up on stage. And if you guys got some questions for them specifically, you can get up there. And I want to give them sort of the courtesy of basically being the one, and then we'll move them off and I'll bring on somebody, and everybody gets to be 100% attention instead of it scattering and people twiddling the thumb. So with that, I'd like to bring up Jason, Sean, Alexander.
Hellboy.
Right, you guys ever see the Hellboy stuff? Right, very good. Here's why I picked Jason. How many of you have been doing it?
20.
20. Okay, here's why I picked Jason. I knew that, as you guys know, I've been talking for a long time about this movie, the darkness and the R-rated and the maturity of it. I knew that that's where I'm headed with all of this. So I wanted to see if I could find an artist that had that look. That if you've seen some of what Jason's done, hopefully you've done it, and for some of you that maybe are reluctant to jump on the Spawn, here's what I can tell you. Jump on it starting with 296. Because 296, 297 essentially is an overview of the first 300 issues. So if you're afraid that you go, I don't know if I can catch up, 296, 297 is essentially a Reader's Digest of issue 1 all the way up to 296. So you're on board. You're going, oh, that's what's happening. Boom. Then you're going to get the prequel, 298, 299, and then you get 300, which is going to end with the cliffhanger, so you got to buy 301, the record breaker, and then you're off to the races, and hopefully we keep you by that point. For Jason, I wanted somebody that could actually bring the mood of what I was hoping to eventually get to in the long run, which is to turn this thing to be less of a superhero book per se, and make it sort of more gritty and determined. So to just go ahead and talk about some of your process of some of your artwork as you sort of discovered what Spawn is, because they all fall into the trap. They all do the superhero look first, and then I have to slap them and go, no, come on, Jason, that's not why I hired you, right? If I wanted that look, I would have got a different artist, right? Just do your Jason thing. That's what I want. I want your Jason thing. So talk to us about your process here.
The
Of discovering Spawn, right?
Well, Todd was actually the first guy I ever ate as a kid, like his Spider-Man and all that stuff. Like I just wanted to be McFarlane. And then over the years, once I discovered books like The Crow and stuff like that, then I started pursuing more of a non-superhero path. So when he hit me up to start working on Spawn, it felt like a really great, like, full circle come around. And so I started buying all the back issues, and I was like, well, I gotta get my superhero up. And they did a sample page, and like he said, like, no, it was great because he asked me to just focus on my strengths. He wants Spawn to be a horror book, he wants Spawn to be a scary book, and then I just got excited.
So look, here's what bugs me the most when I hire people. I don't want, and I tell every one of them, even though they nod their head and say, oh yeah, I get it. They still, sometimes half of them still do it. I don't want Todd White on the page. If you're just going to do a riff of me, right, I'll just do it myself. Like why do I want me? I'll just do it. I don't want a bad version of me. Just do it. I hired you and I want your stuff, right? So for him, I need him to me, I don't know how clear you can see this, but the page on the left, that bottom page, it's still all Spawn. He's cool. He's got the cape, he's got the cowl, he's got the eyes. But that's a monster standing there, right? And even though he's not saying anything, I wrote a word into it, but even though he's not saying anything, I just want him to just be standing there and just scare the shit out of you, even if he says nothing, right? That's what I needed from Jason, right? Go. Because if he was doing a bad superhero, which isn't his thing, it's boring to me. I've already read it, you've read it, who cares about it?
Yeah, you just came at me with Spawn should be a monster, and so I took everything from that point very cinematically. Every time there's a shot, you have your kind of instinctive action poses that you do. I get those out of my system, and then I start, basically, I try to draw every page like I'm drawing the Spawn horror movie. I just wanted to be...
Everything, the create people, we got to process it down, whatever else. One of the things I talked to Jason about is he had this weird system. It can work for him. It didn't work for us in our system because we got a deadline. You do a monthly book. Let me just tell anybody in this room. You do a monthly book. If you just remember this one thing, you'll be able to do a monthly book. It's not fun all the time. Keep that in mind, and it will make sense. Because if you think it's a joy to do a monthly book, there are times where it's a grind and you've got deadlines, whatever. And you have this weird system, I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, where okay, here's 20 pages. We're 2 days before the book has to go to the printer, and we've seen 0 pages. And I go, we're going to press in 2 days. And he's like, yeah, I'm working on all 20 at one time, right? And it was true, because he would show me pictures. I didn't believe him. I thought it was fake, and he sent me pictures, and he's working on 20 pages at once. I'm overstating it, but it was that way. I'm going, wow, now that's cool, and he would get all 20 pages done. Good for him, right? I applaud him, But here's where the bad comes out, right? It wasn't fair to my colorist, who then had to color 20 pages in 2 days. Right? That wasn't the fair part. And I like to be fair, so we just came up, and I took him to the Church of Todd, right? So only mind of God, but the Church of Todd, and I go, just remember this prayer, and he learned it quick, and it actually worked. Watch this. This is how you do a monthly book. A page a day, Monday through Friday, rest on the weekend. A page a day, Monday through Friday, rest on the weekend. A page a day, Monday through Friday, rest on the weekend. There's 4 weeks in a month, that gets you 20 pages. Monday through Friday is 5 days. 5 times 4 is 20. That's a book. You don't have to do the weekend. If you want to do a cover, you can blow one of your Saturdays. You can get it done. But that's how it works. Just a page a day. That's your quota. Do a page, you're done. If it takes you 3 hours, it's a 3-hour day. If it takes 23 hours, it's a 23-hour day. I need a page so I can get that page from my color to my letter, and I can write it. That's it. And all of a sudden he converted. He got the 22 years and converted.
And this was a text, by the way. Like I got the text and a text, and it was repeated.
Exactly.
Monday through Friday, day to day.
I wanted it to be a chant in his brain to get there, right? Because if you can get the 1 page done, then you just go, because here's why, because we've all done it, everybody, Scott's going to come up here and tell you the same thing. There's only so much fun on a page.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you attack the fun first. And then you leave all the unfun stuff, the buildings, and the people in the crowd, and the mountains, and all this stuff is not cool, right? John Superman and Batman and Spider-Man doing fun stuff, that's the best stuff, right? Yeah. And so you attack it, and what's happened is that you then have 8 pages, and it's all the ugly stuff that you don't have any interest in doing. You have to get it done. And then it's not fun for 2 days, right? So I go, stop it. Just do all the fun and a little bit of ugly every day, and then you're not going to have 20 pages of nothing but ugly still left where he's going, So you just have computer screens and mountains left for 20 pages? How's that a joy to do it, right? So anyway, so so tell me how that conversion's gone, because I've been really impressed. Son, I've been really impressed.
I have to, I tend to need a little digestion time in somewhere in my page. And so my system wound up being, I pencil as the last part of my day. And so it's the next morning, I'm the most clear-headed, I'm ready to rock. So in the morning, I ink the page from before, and then in the afternoon, I pencil the page. This gives me time to put it away, and the next morning, I wake up clear-headed. I can see all the mistakes, I fix them all in the ink, I have a good time, then you get a little tired, so you just pencil the next page. 5 pages a day, for a week.
So given that you go on what's the thing that you found sort of the most surprising or the most likable, and what was the thing that you just went, I'll do it, but you know, this is sort of the least interesting thing about it?
I don't get to draw a lot of characters, or I've not drawn a lot of characters where there's no rules. Like, you draw the Joker and there's kind of like an abstract face. Spawn is an abstract character. Every panel can be a slightly different mask, a slightly different thing. He's all like emotion and fear based, so you can every shot you can change it and it all looks right. So everything about that world and about that character is constant emotion. You can't get bored with it. And then you have to draw him in New York City. And you have to draw bricks.
Here's the other thing that I did with Jason too, is that he worked from some full scripts. Draw from me. I'm never giving you a full script. Like, I don't believe in that. I go, I'm going to give you a rough outline, you do it, you come up with the visual, that's why I'm hiring you, and I'll work the words backwards. But we also did a few issues, I was telling them how great Capullo and I did it, where we literally, I don't even write a word for Greg. It seems shocking, I'm all sure it's horrifying for writers, but it was, we would get on the phone, and we would just talk it out. And he was taking notes, anything that was interesting we said, and I go, here's the 3 pages, these characters doing this, and you write it out. And then I hang up and you give me a book. We did that for 80 issues, right? You see the evidence of it. I defy any of you to look at those books and say, hey, Todd didn't do a script and Greg didn't, and they didn't do it the normal way. It was this funky method. So I tried it with him, right? I just wanted to see, we actually did a couple of issues where I just phoned him and go, do a phone plot, and he did a couple of them. How'd that work for you?
I got off the phone and I went to my wife and I think that was it. I think that's the script. Man, yeah, it was exciting and scary at the same time. Like, you want to test your storytelling chops, just work with this guy. And, like, you really want to achieve, so much dynamic stuff. And it was just we don't do it on the phone anymore. He sends me a page of a plot. It's really been one of the more exciting ways to work.
Because from an art point of view, you then get to take everything that's in the story and make the drama go the way that you want, right? And Jason, like I said, has helped me. I mean, Spawn sales have been climbing. We've got our fingers crossed that Spawn 300 is going to be the #1 selling book in the country when it comes out. We're going to get that final answer in a couple of weeks. And that's 27 years after Spawn 1 came out, that was the #1 selling book. You can do it 27 years later, right? And so, but you just have to be persevere. That's my half, and the other is that I got to be smart enough to hang out with clever people like Jason. So, Jason, thanks for coming up here.
Thank you.
The other piece of it is that it's also going to be 60 plus pages of story, and although I can write, I think of myself as an artist first and a writer second, right? So I knew that I was going to need a little bit of help. And so I was looking around at some people and saying, who can I get up there that would be interesting, that maybe would be not obvious, that would come onto the book and would help me do a little bit of writing. And I kept thinking I was going to have to do some hard sells with some of these people, but some of them came on pretty quickly. And so the first call I made was the person who said yes first, so I didn't have to go get a second phone call. So I'd like to introduce Scott Snyder, if you want. So Scott, as you know, has been doing all that great stuff over at DC and is the preeminent Batman writer over there and doing crazy stuff. But I thought Scott, besides just being good at what he does in his trade, I just thought it would be sort of cool for him to jump on the book. And then we had a conversation, I don't know if you remember, where he's like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want, whatever. It's like, what chapter you want me to do? And then eventually I said, well, why don't you write the chapter I'm going to draw, right? I mean, you're going to draw it, if you're going to write one. You and I have never jammed, right? Let's jam together. And that was sort of the genesis of him coming on board. So, anyways, you regale them with anything you want from your childhood about Spawn to working on this project or whatever else. But I appreciate you coming on and helping me. It's going to be a lot of work between now and the next 2 weeks.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I love our story together. And just, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the book in the first place. It's a huge honor. Spawn was just loomed incredibly large for me, both as a kid and more recently too. I mean, I still have my original issues, at my parents' house, and I remember it's like my favorite thing in the world, the transition from Spider-Man to Spawn. And it was on my 13th birthday, I went to Comic-Con with my father and waited in line for Todd for like 2 hours or so. And I think I had like $70 or something that I had saved up to see whatever page he had. Because he was selling pages that I could afford. And I came up and my father mentioned it was my birthday and he gave me a page that was worth like 3 times what I could afford from Spider-Man 319. I still have it. Signed to me with the Spider-Man head drawn on the back. It was like literally made my world for like years. So if I could go back and tell my 13-year-old self that I'm getting to write a piece of Spawn that you're drawing, it like makes me well up just thinking about it. So it really is. I told him, I said, Craig was mad at me. I was like, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free. He's like, what are you saying? Don't say that to him.
But when I met you at 13, you know what I should have done? I should have got you to do some blocks for me.
Yeah, right. Totally. No, it really is. And getting to revisit, what I love about Spawn also is the drama of the mythology, heaven and hell, and all these great characters, everybody from revisiting Violator and Salmon Twitch and Redeemer, looking back at all of it and thinking about how fun it is and how compelling it is and how soap opera it is, everything Al goes through, all of the challenges, and now to hear his plans for what's coming in 301 and all that stuff and what he has planned, it feels like he's just getting started. It was funny because Greg always teases me that I'm a talker. I am. I cover a lot of shit and balloons. I get it on the pages. But when he started telling me what he has planned for Spawn and what's coming up, we were on the phone for like 2 hours plus, and it was amazing. I was just listening. It was like, so the epic battle coming, to be a small part of that and to get to do the piece that we get to do is really fun. It's a big kind of transition moment for something. And it was just a joy, dude. And it's just a joy working together. I love the way getting to go back and forth and do that loose kind of jamming that way. When I started, I was always all full script. And it really was Greg talking about working with you that made me realize the importance of adapting your style to each artist you work with and asking what makes them happy on the page and what's going to get them excited. So to get to do that with a person that at first I was always mad when he was like, it was so fun working with Todd. And I was always like, hell, I'm right here, man. You know what I mean? I remember I got so mad at him once in Toronto. Remember I got out of the van? I was just like, I can't do this anymore. He was like, the most fun I've ever had was working with Todd McFarlane. And I was like, we were on our way to the Space Needle to hang off of it. I was like, I'm so fun.
So let me tell you a secret. It's not really true, but he knows you get pissed off every time you say it. He goes, watch him. Every time I say it, watch the reaction.
I do. I'm, it's like all just for men. You know what I mean? Because it's gray hair from listening to it so much. But no, it's an honor, and honestly, to learn from you, even a little bit, like just talking the story back and forth in the way that you lay it out visually as you're explaining it is thrilling, dude. So thank you, sincerely.
So just a quick overview of what's going to happen in 300. The sort of that you like. If you were me, then I can't make a story out of it, and it makes sense. So if you say, I like volcanoes and elephants, I'll make a story somehow with those two things, because you will draw the best volcanoes and elephants you'll ever see, and it will show on the paper, and it will be exciting to the audience. And so put what you're passionate about on the page. What is that? I'll make it work. And not surprisingly, I like drawing girls, right? So, I couldn't have been ready for that answer. But anyways, your turn's up to talk about your chapter here, what you're going to be doing.
Yes. No, I mean, it was, I mean, first of all, to be involved in such a monumental, moment in Spawn history, much like Scott Schneider, I very much grew up with a very similar sort of admiration for what Todd was doing. I was also a teenager running into comic book shops, buying Spider-Man and then transitioning into Spawn before I even got anywhere close to the professional realm. So this is kind of a surreal moment for me as well, to kind of be in any way, shape, or form involved with this. So I mean, he pretty much had me at hello, pretty much, to steal Tom Cruise from me. But yeah, I mean, it's so I pretty much was like, yeah, well, what do you tell me what you need me to do. I'm there, and he of course right out said well, you're doing interior pages. I'm like, I'm signing me up pretty much. And
here's the other thing that's interesting too, and I sort of say it to people as much as possible. They go, well, what do you want on the cover? What do you want on the cover? I want to be the art director for people who've been doing it for 20 years, right? I never like people telling me what to do. They just say, hey, we need a cover, maybe they give you a couple characters, and you're out, right? And you just go whatever. And the only thing I ever said to him, probably Greg, and whatever, just channel your inner 15-year-old self.
Right.
I mean, it's true. We all collected comic books, and comic books were the greatest thing in the world when we first started, and we still have fond memories of that. So I go, Scott, what would the 15-year-old Scott Campbell want on that page? That would be cool. Draw that. That's the cover that I need. And he basically showed me, we don't have it. It's going to be up. We're going to be posting it here pretty soon. But he did this great cover that's got stained glass window behind it. It's got all this cool set of colors. His friend Peter colored it for him. You'll look for it next week. We're going to post it. And he went to town on it because I just go, cool. You can sell cool every day of the week. So.
Well, it doesn't hurt that, I mean, that was easier said than done to tap into the 15-year-old version of me, because that was the version of me that was buying Spider-Man, I was buying Spawn. I mean, I was in my teens when I was buying that stuff. So to tap into that mindset is actually surprisingly easy. I mean, it's especially too, I've always kind of tried not to let go of that even all 3 years I've been drawing comic books. So for me, that was you were speaking my language when you said that pretty much. And even to these 2 pages here, wow, this is a setup to a story, but what's really cool is the best stuff's still yet to come, because this is still kind of in my Danger Girl kind of way of drawing, but there's monsters coming up. It was so fun to do the Spawn things, like the monsters.
I asked him, I go, give me a list of a couple characters you want to draw, and then I'll see if I can sneak them in, and he gave me 20. So I don't know if he got them all 20, but he got I saw the 2-page spread that has it. So there's a big 2-page.
I crowbarred as many as I could get in there.
Yeah. So it looked pretty cool. And some of the pages, he's going to be doing some of the inking. I'll be doing some of the inking. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Loose Pencils by Scott Campbell. It is one of the reasons why he doesn't do monthly comics. So I'm going to work on him so we can get him to a point so he either A, can do more work that you guys can see because we all want to see more of it, or he can do the same amount of work in less time so he can spend more time with his lovely wife and his children, and make the same amount of money, which is actually sort of the goal of all of us up here on the hill. But the other thing too, Scott came up in the room the other day and we were sitting in the room, like when you guys go home today and they come in, we were up in the room working on the book, trading pages back and forth and doing goofy stuff.
Very cool.
We're gonna get the book, just like we used to do when we were in the 20s.
Yeah.
Jamming on stuff is what you do to get comic books done. So I'm really happy that I was able to get him off the cover, although he's doing one, and into the interior.
That's been a blast.
Yeah, so anyway, Jeffrey Scott Campbell, look for it. I go, if I don't get this gentleman on this book, even for at least one page, I will have failed. I think the book will be a failure. I don't think it will be a tribute and especially given that it's historical, it would be less than just, so I go, I've got to just plant this right, and I've got to see if I can get a couple pages out of him. And we started having a couple conversations, and that person, to me, is besides a dear friend, he's like a brother to me. We go way back. He did 80 issues for me on Spawn, right? He went on, made his preeminent run on Batman. I think that Scott, but from an artistic point of view, Scott Snyder, but from an artistic point of view, Greg Capullo will go down as one of the preeminent, if not the best Batman art for the generation coming up. They're going to go, it was the Capullo Batman that I like. And I was sort of watching him from a distance, like a proud father going, wow, look at that, right? Because when he was with me, I cast a big shadow and his career was just going. I knew he was drawing circles around me, and it was great to see him go out there and get all the due that he was well deserved, because I've said it before and I continue to say it, and others have said it over and over. He is the best comic book artist working today for more than one reason. He's just a good draftsman, a great storyteller. He does a volume of work, and he gets all the deadlines done. All of that in one person, it becomes super rare, right? And so when you get to hang out with people that are in rarefied earth or air, you try to do as much as possible. So I'd like to do Greg Capullo. Greg came and
continue along the line you were just discussing.
Okay. So now the only thing was, how many pages could I sucker out of him once I got him to yes, right? And he just started going, and it ended up being serendipitous. There was some opening there, and I went to sort of sell him at his house, and all he wanted to talk to me about was his door that wasn't working, and someone, and at the end, after like 2 days there, I went, we better talk about Spawn. So I know I'm just going straight to the end of the story. I want him to draw, at least draw the ending. I'll take it all the way up to that point. And I sat there and I go, hey, can we talk about it for 10 minutes because I got to go. And from those conversations, he said yes. And he said, all right, I can do more in a couple pages. I'll do 30, right? So he's doing a big, big waft of this book. So if you like Greg Capullo artwork like I do, then you're gonna enjoy this book to have. So you're up.
Okay. Yeah, we did talk about the door a little while, but 15 minutes. Okay, I'll talk quickly. It was those old times, you know. First, let me do this back up. You know, I did a lot of Spawn, as you said. I did like 80 issues, and then people think I left Todd, but I didn't leave Todd. I was still working behind the scenes, and because when it was approaching Spawn 100, I said, I'm going to stop at issue 100. And Todd said, well, what are you going to do next? And I said, I don't know. I just know I'm not going to do this anymore. And he said, well, I still want to keep you, so how about like I give you a salary and you just, are sort of behind the scenes and you do what I need you to do. That could be an album cover, toy design, or whatever he needed me to do. And then one day, he phones me up and he goes, Greggy, I think I need you to come back and do Spawn. And I groaned because this was the last thing I wanted to come back and do, so they'd done so much. And but he had me in a situation where it was going to be yes, sir. And so I said, okay. And he called me back the next day and he goes, or you could do this other thing. And I said, yes. and that ended up being Honk with he and Robert Kirkman, Ryan Howley. And so anyway, after all this time now, though, away from Spawn, and now it's a real joy to come back and handle those characters again, in particular Spawn, this brotherhood. And so it was so much fun, and it was like, I had referenced my costume a couple times ago, what side was Gauntlet on and all this, but as soon as that got in, it was very easy to go right back into that mindset that I was in at the time of drawing Spawn on the regular, and working with Todd. He was at the house and we talked about the door and everything, but then it was great because, as he said, most of the time it was over the phone, and this time we got it in person. And I've always said over all these years that the way Todd and I work together is very similar to the way Stan Lee would work with Jack Kirby. And I've heard tell, because I was a witness to it, people were, said that sometimes Stan Lee would get right up on the desk to demonstrate to Jack, what he wanted the action to look like. And sure enough, Todd's out of the chair and he's making the faces and it was, so, I'm feeling it, right? Because it's right there before me. So this was really, we waited to the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby period at that moment in time, that we did it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's just great to come back and do it. And he can be, but he's murdering me with this stuff because, he picked up his father from the airport. And he goes, here's Dad inking some of your pages on the ride home. I'm going, just don't hit any potholes, please. And Dad, this let me clue you in. This all was really kind of cool and clever, but this is quintessential Tom McFarlane. Getting somebody to do his work and not having to pay for it.
My dad and Greg have a bond too, and my dad was visiting me up in Canada here recently, and I went, Dad, we sit in the back, because I literally, if you see my Instagram, I was inking on the road, right, when we were driving. My dad and I were in the back, my wife was driving, and I go, Dad, no, that's a whole nother, you can do it. You just make sure it's rocks, and trees, and explosions, and you don't do faces, right? You can do. You're gonna have to trust me on this one. So anyway, but I went, Dad.
Lots of ink splatter.
Yeah, I go, Dad. Take my lapboard, stand there, take my pen, pretend you're inking, and I'm gonna take a picture. Instead of Greg, he's gonna give him a bleeding ulcer, right? There's nothing
We do
better.
this because we love each other.
Nothing better than dire situations, right? So if you can do that to a friend, then you know that you've done it. So, and he goes, is he really letting Bob, that's my dad, is he really letting Bob do some backgrounds? But I don't do that. I get people to do blacks and whatever else, but I'm going to be grinding those pages as much as possible. Right. Here's the thing too, was the storytelling that I got to see coming back from Greg's pages, right? It's like, wow. Again, it's one of the things I shifted as I've gotten older. I'm less concerned about pretty pictures than I am about clear storytelling. It's what made Jack Kirby so great, right? But then, when you get that combo, this is why, again, I say it in all honesty, because I've been a friend, why he's so good. His drawing is awesome, but the storytelling is impeccable, right? It's impeccable, So, as I was looking at these pages again, you were sending me, the 30 pages, I'd forgotten about the effortless flow of the story. I don't even almost need to tell the
I
words.
just like that we're going back to talking about how awesome I am.
That's it. But, great, so I got lucky that Greg was winding up a contract with DC Comics, had a bit of a gap, and then was going into the next one, and I just happened to be serendipitous.
No, that's not how it happened.
I'm just making it up, they don't know any better.
The truth is better.
Oh.
So I'm in the middle of last night on Earth, and the truth is better because, and so I was ready to just launch into the third part of it, and that's when he tapped me. And so it wasn't between contracts. I'm in the thick of it, and I said to Dio, I said, you're gonna have to let me go and do this because it's Spawn 300, and I did so much of Spawn, and it's like this is this landmark thing, and it's history making, and Todd offered me a whole lot of money. And so he said, okay, we'll make it work, and that's good, because I would have went and done it anyway. Like, we're going to have to breach the contract. But that's how it really happened. They actually moved aside for me. So now I'm going to go back and finish last night. But they were nice enough to get on there. They understood the magnitude of what Todd has achieved here, and that why I should be a part of that, and they did allow for it. So there's kudos to DC Comics, and thanks for him inviting me to do it.
Here's sort of more competitive people, right? He's got Italian in him, and I should be Italian.
Italian Sicilian.
Yeah, I gave him the story, and then there was like sort of two endings to it, right? There was sort of like this thump, and then a big thump at the end. And then the big cliffhanger is like, oh, well, what's going to happen after that? And I go, I'm going to do this. And then Greg going, whoa, nobody's taking over my cliffhanger, right? Nobody, even though I said I'm drawing it, we reworked it so that we get a double. Instead of doing both of those hits, and I think it's going to work out better, instead of doing both of those hits in 300, the first hit is the cliffhanger. And then you get the resolution in 301. And he goes, I've got to finish my own story. Nobody else is going to tell. I don't care about you, Todd. You're my brother, but you're not as good as me, right? So he reminds me of that every day. So, and I want.
Well, you say it, I just don't argue.
Yeah, that's so I went perfect because then again I think that it becomes you end up with this big sort of boom. We go into the chapters and some of the great men that were up here earlier, but then you're going to pick it up from that moment, and it's going to be the second pump of what he drew to go punch 1, and then 301 is going to be this short punch 2, and then I take over, and then at least I got some distance. Nobody's sort of playing with it because he started it and just wants to finish. I would have been just as competitive. I would have said the exact same thing. So you're going to get some gravy in 301 also. So thanks for doing that. And then he goes back to or Greg or whatever, we'll do it. We've got, it looks like about 9 minutes, 10 minutes here. Otherwise, don't raise your hand, there's a microphone.
Todd, you've had a lot of great artists on Spawn. What are the qualities that you're looking for in them?
Strangely, one of the qualities that I look for is people that are going to...
Good looks.
I should have brought the picture. Damn it, next time. When we were young studs, he had like his hair was down to here, right? It's super cool. Right? I got this photo where he's got hair down to here, and I go, wow. But I always bring the one with me and Eric Larson where his hair's down to here, right?
That's your back there, though.
Yeah, no. Right? So all these people that I've been hanging around, they've all gone bald, and so somehow I'm radioactive a little bit.
That just means you've got a whole lot of testosterone.
Yeah, that's it. So if you look at, one of the things I'm most proud of is Spawn. One of the things I'm most proud of is Spawn is that in that first 100 issues, there's essentially only 2 artists. There's me doing a little bit and then Greg doing a shitload, right? And that was it, 2. Books that have long runs, I think, were some of the best books I enjoyed as a kid. Not that they were always the best, but there was a consistency to the book, and you could just go, I know what I'm getting with my dollar every time I pick up this book. Over and over and over and over, and it becomes a body of work. Then all of a sudden, Angel Medina comes on, and he does a big loft, almost like 150, right? Then we scramble a little bit for a while there, and then the guy named Shimon Kudransky comes on. He does 201 to 250. That's 50 issues in a row, non-stop. So if you bought the compendium, it's exactly the same from page 1 to the last 100. That's my 15-year-old Todd going, you don't have to be the best, I just want you to hang around. So when Jason came on, he wasn't doing a lot like long run. Probably, I assume the longest run on a book, I don't know. But I just want to do it. If you're going to come on, you can't just come on for 3 issues. I need you now to sort of, especially if we're having 300, I need some consistency. So I can count on fingers, arguably, the number of artists that have been on the book. And that's my pride. I consider them the best. That's a different tough topic. Just that it's not every 5 issues a new artist. Those are aggravating comic books to me, right? So let me also give kudos to one person here that I think deserves way more credit than most anybody in comic books industry will do. In issue 302, Tom Orzechowski, my letterer, will set a record for lettering the most books on a single comic book because he missed 1 in the first 100. So by 302, he'll have done 301. Tom Orzechowski has been there since day 1 on this comic book. He's done more Spawn pages than any other human being on the planet. So, and he created that logo you guys all like their time. He created that logo for me way back day 1. So, a round of applause for Tom Orzechowski. I don't know who this guy is, but I thought this panel went to 2:45. You got a different clock than I do? Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So my question is about inking. I'm trying to break in and find samples. Is it easier to just do it yourself or look for people online? So I know things have been changing. How would you say finding samples is easier or just doing your own work and inking over it?
I would say that you find a good pencil to take over. Because usually, you know, you're good at either one craft or another. It's very interesting to have somebody who does both equally well. So if your goal is to be an inker, I would say get some good pencil samples that are strong, so you have a strong foundation, so it doesn't drag down what you do with the inks, and so that your inks can be judged as they are. So, you know, if you get pencils by, you know, whoever online, I'm sure you can find samples of pros. Get those and ink over those. I see that stuff all the time, and I certainly, that catches my eye above, you know, some ink over some really wonky looking, amateur looking stuff.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we gotta go, let me just make one announcement here. I don't usually travel a lot of shows, I do this one, whatever else. A little bit, next month I'm gonna be in Boston, you'll be there too, I think, right? Then I go up to Toronto, I'm Canadian, right? They're gonna treat me like royalty every time I come back to the so it's always cool to go back up there. But when 300 comes out and 301 come out, we're going to do one big signing on the East Coast at a comic shop and one on the West Coast. We haven't determined what they are, but look for those announcements because I'm hoping that I can sort of bribe some of the people you saw up on stage to join me at some of those. One to be in New York, one to be in LA. Come and look for it, and then we can just sort of keep this sort of party going for about another 2 months till the end of 301 in the Record Center. So let me say thank you. I can't do 301 issues unless I get support from you people and the fans. You guys have given me a life for 30 plus years that I can do this, and I can now start thinking I can do it for another 30 years. So thanks to the talent that's hung around me. Thanks to you.